Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Sterling Live. My name is Caitlin Brower. I am Sterling's social media manager, and I'm thrilled that I get to come to you every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern and deliver just such great conversations that we have across Sterling with some of our amazing employees. So today, I am happily joined by Jenna Gardner. She is our people and experience leader, and today we are going to be discussing employee appreciation and how we virtually celebrate Team Sterling. Jenna, thank you so much for joining us today. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience?
Thank you, Caitlin. Yeah, so I'm so excited to be here. I am the people experience leader at Sterling, and I feel like that is a large name. Like, what do I actually do?
Yeah. What does she do?
I'm like figuring it out myself. I like to think of my role as kind of the equivalent to companies caring deeply about the candidate or the customer experience and making sure that it's perfect and that it runs smoothly. We're lucky at Sterling that Sterling cares about their customers and clients, but also cares about their employees deeply. And they have given me an amazing opportunity to care about the employees, make sure that all their touch points, employee life cycle is smooth and a wonderful experience. So that's what I do.
And I must add, Jenna does do a great job at that. So I'm sure everyone at Sterling would attest to that. And I totally agree with me. You did get a shout out on LinkedIn and someone said, go Jenna. So I think, listen, the audience is just as excited as I am to talk to you today. So for our audience listening specifically on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, you can ask Jenna questions throughout the show. And we encourage questions to come through. So just go into the comment section across each of the platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and go ahead and submit your questions there. So we look forward to them throughout the show. Let's go ahead and get into our topic. So we are talking about employee appreciation. So on Friday, March 5th was actually Employee Appreciation Day. So it looked a little different this year because we are virtual. I do remember being in the office last year, and that was kind of like the last hurrah before things changed a little bit.
It really was, yeah.
So your team did have to prepare to turn this into a virtual event. So how did our people team at Sterling, prep and turn this, into a positive experience, but a new experience for us?
Yeah, I think a lot of companies were in the same position as us, where we were in the physical office before, and then we're now in a remote world.
Right.
And when we think about preparation, I think the first thing for me was like this mind shift of, okay, it's not as negative as we think it is. Like there was a lot of, oh my God, we can't be in the office. We can't celebrate together. What do? We can't show appreciation. But truly, once you remove that limitation from your mind, you actually realize there's a lot of great opportunity to show appreciation globally, borderlessly, that we are now in. So first, there had to be a mind shift for me. I had to get out of that negative slump. But then for me, it was looking at the resources we have. So in our current state, what do we have in order to facilitate appreciation virtually? So before it was, we had budget, we had cookies, we had donuts, we had wine, we had a physical space, and that's how we showed appreciation. We don't have any of that. And so what we were left with was, okay, what technologies do we have? What means of communication do we have? And at Sterling, it was looking at our technologies like Workday or intranet. Or Zoom to facilitate gathering just in a virtual space. So it was really to prepare for a virtual experience was to look at the resources that we had. And I think a lot of companies had to probably do that as well.
Yeah, I do appreciate, the first thought you had there of shifting a mindset. It's not all bad that we're in this environment. We still can show appreciation. So I actually want to give my appreciation to you and your team for, doing this in stride and really doing it well, because I think a lot of us did feel appreciated on Friday, but then again, all throughout the year, which we will get into in a little bit. So you did touch on, how we do this globally. I loved how you said this is borderless. Showing appreciation is borderless. I absolutely love that quote from you. But so what did Sterling do globally on Friday?
Yeah, so I mentioned that we had to look at the resources that we had, and one of the things we use is Workday, and Workday allows individuals to give thanks to each other. But it's very much within the system. Like if I gave you a thanks, Caitlin, you would see it and your manager would see it, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But what we wanted to do was like, how do we extract that and show global appreciation for the entire month? And so we encouraged employees to give thanks, and we extracted it from Workday and we put it on our intranet on a huge, giant wall of appreciation. I did not think we would get this many thank yous, but like just within 3 or 4 days, we got 2,000 thank yous across the globe, which is
I love that.
amazing. Like typically, Keelan, you know this, like in our physical office, we would have these thank you walls and you would go up to it and you would look and you would say, oh, did someone give me a thanks? But you wouldn't know like what was happening in Washington or what was happening in Ohio or Manila. And this now was a chance for us to see like how many thank yous we could get globally and across different teams and across different locations. And it was great to see. And it's still going, like we're still getting a lot of thank yous, and we're going to continue to build that up. So I'm sure the numbers will definitely go up.
I absolutely loved our virtual wall of thank you and appreciation. I think I spent half of my Friday just scrolling through and looking, like you said, over 2,000, because there was that many to look at across all of our regions. And I think it was a great point that you brought up. In the past, we would do it in office. So maybe if we're sending, pictures through email, you could potentially see what other offices are doing, what we're posting on social media, things like that. But this, we could see everything all at once. And I loved seeing my colleagues being shouted out. I loved all of the appreciation that I got. It just truly was a great pick me up on a Friday afternoon. And I'm so happy that they're still coming in, because I got to get back in there and really look, and just truly a tremendous, tremendous activity for the team. So I did actually want to share a couple of the pieces of support that were on this virtual wall. They're feel goods, I promise.
Okay.
So I have 4 to share. So the first one is, thank you for being my awesome partner and leading our team. Your passion towards work is infectious. The second one is, I love that you always come to work with a bright smile. Thank you for your support and positive energy. I loved that one, because it's not always about like the work you do. It could be the attitude, your positive energy. I truly love that one. The third one is, you motivate me to bring out the best in all the tasks. It feels special to work under your leadership. That one was very, very special. And then this last one, actually, Jenna, was for you. So it is a special one.
That's awesome.
It says, thank you for everything that you do and for being a fantastic manager. I appreciate your support. So that was specifically a thank you for Jenna. And I couldn't agree more with that. While Jenna is not my direct manager, she is a great support system, and she truly is a great leader. So that was definitely a great, great call out there.
Thank you.
Yes. So just like kind of, overview of all of those thank you, or what are your arching thoughts of those call outs there?
I think you said something while you were going through those thank yous. I think typically when we see thank yous, it seems like very project driven or work driven. And I think I get the pleasure of reading all of these thank yous. And it's so much more than that. It hits on like your smile or your personality or what you bring to work or how you make people feel. And it has a different flavor this time around. And I love it.
Yeah.
Those are awesome.
I agree. And I saw a couple of examples too of people mentioning how coworkers have truly become like friends, a part of their family. And I truly love that too. So it was, some of them were very project driven, but then some were very too, like really just hit home on personalities, emotions. And I really, really do like that for sure. So outside of the global aspect of things, we still did do things locally. So our offices are still kind of getting together from a virtual perspective. So what did some of our local areas do to celebrate Employee Appreciation Day?
Yeah, so I think before I go into the nuances, one of the things we like to say, or I like to say, my team probably hates hearing this, is globally consistent but locally relevant. And I think while we had an opportunity to be global and have one amazing experience together as 5,000 employees, we do like to acknowledge the communities that exist in certain locations that have been built over time, or just the cultural differences. So high level, some of our offices did just small happy hours, getting together with each other. In Manila, they had something called Sterling Shouts, I believe, which is similar to thank yous, but they got on a meeting and just literally gave shout outs in the real time. And then they also did, I think it was called the Corona Awards, which the pun, I don't know if it was intended or not, but it means crown in Tagalog, I believe. But they just did fun awards like who drinks the most coffee, or who's on the teams, or who's the go-to teams person. I was just going to say, yes, I thought I would have won that one. But yeah, so we just, we allowed the teams to do what they needed to do to feel appreciated, because appreciation is not a one size fits all type of strategy. I think you got to hit it in different areas, and locally is definitely where that can happen.
I love that. Honestly, that was just a great way to sum that up of what we did on Friday for an Employee Appreciation Day. So one of the things that I truly love about Sterling, and I love being a part of Team Sterling so much, and I can go on and on, but one of the things really I do love is that Employee Appreciation doesn't stop on March 5th. Or it's not just a month-long activity. It is 365 days. It's all year round. It's everything. So how do we appreciate our employees throughout the year? I mean, I could sit here and tell you that I love it so much, but what exactly do we do?
Yeah, I think the important thing that we do is we try to help other people understand that, you're right, appreciation can't happen on just one day. And I kind of equate it to like the love. Have you heard the 5 languages of love?
Yes.
Yeah. So I kind of equate it to that. Like, it's not a one size fits all. Is it a Starbucks gift card? Is it a thank you note? Is it recognition on a Teams meeting? Is it a call out from Josh?
Right.
You never know what that approach is. And so really it's trying to bake it into your life cycle, from the quarterly check-ins that you might have to year-end check-ins. Say thank you, right? Say thank you on Employee Appreciation Day. Say thank you when somebody does something great, or don't just say thank you. Maybe give them a small something, or recognize them in a different capacity. I think the one thing though we just try to help people understand is that you can't just give it on March 5th.
Right.
In my opinion, that's like me saying I love you to my husband on Valentine's Day and not thinking about anything else.
Exactly.
So yeah, let's make sure we get it in all different areas. But yeah, we try to bake it into a few different areas of the employee life cycle, and then think of different ways to communicate appreciation. So it's more of a well-rounded approach, as opposed to like one very direct thank you on March 5th.
That's great. We did get a call out on our YouTube channel that, someone feels very proud to be a part of this company. And I can 100% agree. I feel proud every single day to be a part of Team Sterling. So thank you for that call out. We do appreciate it. Yes. And anyone else too, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, ask questions, make comments. We look forward to engaging with you throughout the rest of this episode. So Jenna, you did touch earlier a little bit on things like the intranet, Workday. So technology is clearly huge right now when giving appreciation, because we are in a virtual world. So I would like to, understand a little bit more like what other technologies play a role in what we're doing, and then just kind of even the ones that you dove into earlier, like any other intel you have on that.
Yeah, I think, all of the ones you mentioned are huge. Zoom, our Workday, our intranet, all of those are important to us, but it'll vary from company to company. And I think what I'm realizing for myself is that technology is kind of like the office to like the way we used to work.
Yeah.
The office was the glue on how we functioned, how we appeared, how we gave thanks, how we had interactions, how we built relationships. And now technology is having to replace that, right? Whether it's Zoom for just meetings, or is it a virtual thank you card, or a Starbucks gift card? Like, technology is going to facilitate how we build relationships or how we give recognition in our future. So for me, it's not necessarily like which technologies are doing that for us, but having that shift in mentality about what technology can do for us.
Right.
Before, Zoom was just a means to have a meeting. Like I would call you over Zoom just to have a meeting, and that was it. And now I think about how I use Zoom or Teams, and it has completely transformed into a means of like lifestyle almost.
Yeah.
Almost so.
Yeah. No, 100%. Oh, wow. We're getting a ton of comments on YouTube, and I'm so happy. It's just people are, Sterling is the best company to work for. I'm inspired every day to go to work at Sterling. Great job on creating such a great culture, and love from India. Thank you, everyone that is sending all of these comments in. It's on this. I told you I was so excited to do this episode because it is such a feel-good episode, and this is something that Sterling just does so well. Our culture is amazing. Our appreciation towards, all of our employees is amazing. So again, was very happy and excited to get on this. And clearly our audience is very exciting too. So thank you. Yeah. Thank you for all of these shout outs. Keep them coming. I will share them as we go through. So let's take a look into the future. So we talked about the past on Friday, Employee Appreciation Day, talking about the present, what we're doing currently. Let's look ahead into the future. Does Sterling have any future ideas or opportunities for employee appreciation? Anything you could give away? Any secrets?
I don't know if I have any secrets, but I guess the way I want to answer this is more about the experience of what this looks like for like a people and culture team. When we were in office, we had, some 70 years, more than that, to figure out like how we function in an office, how we bring in revenue, how we meet our goals, how we show appreciation. And so it was something that we knew. And now in a remote space, I Googled like, how do you give appreciation remotely?
Right.
And it's like, you actually have to weed out this stuff because you're like, is that going to work here? Do I have the resources? And I imagine the future of our world being where I could Google something about appreciation in a virtual world. And I could just pull things out instead of having to weed through it, because we are systematically figuring out how to be remote, and we have the resources, and we have the links or the language to use. And so, yeah, I just imagine that it'll be normalized, and employee appreciation won't have to be such a scary thing for me, because it's not the first time we're going through a remote appreciation or the first time I'm Googling something that doesn't really exist. So I don't know what we have in store, to be completely honest, but next year will come around, and I'm hoping that we'll have something even bigger and better than 2,000 thank yous and whatnot.
Yeah. And listen, I think it can definitely only go up from here with what we've been doing. And maybe a potential idea is Sterling kind of being at the forefront of how to adapt to appreciation virtually. Because I know you said you Googled and looking into research. Maybe we'll come up there with some of the companies that are doing it the best, because I know
I love that. Yes.
We have adapted very well. And I think we're doing great things. And, it's a testament to your team. You guys are doing a great job. So I know I feel appreciated every day. This flew of comments for getting in across social media feels the same way as well. So that was definitely great. So bright things ahead in the future, I think. At this time, I do want to remind our audience on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube that you can ask Jenna questions before we wrap up the show today. So please feel free to plug those questions in regards to employee appreciation, virtual, celebrating, things like that. But Jenna, from you, final thoughts on our discussion today. What do you have for me?
Oh gosh, my final thoughts. I think my final thoughts really have to go to the reaction that I'm getting from the team. I think it's true what I say when I say employee appreciation is not a one size fits all. So when we do come out and we do a virtual thank you, it's like, is it going to hit the right chord? Is it, it's just a one-time experience? But overall, I'm hearing that people are feeling appreciated, which is great. I think the other thing I want to say is that the silver lining for me about this pandemic, not that there's a whole lot, but in terms of how we treat each other and show appreciation, I think it really stripped us of so many things that made us appreciate one another at such a different level. And I think people, like the testament to 2,000 comments is really about people truly feeling appreciative of each other. And I think if we, companies do go back to being in the physical space, I think that appreciation, how we treat each other, will follow, because you can't go back to how we used to be about not caring for each other outside of your computer screen, right? I care about your life now. I care, not that I didn't before, but it's just it's a little bit closer. But yeah, I'm excited to see how employee appreciation evolves and how we as a human society evolve and how we treat each other.
Yeah, I love that. So we actually do, before we wrap up, we did get a question on YouTube. And I think this question might be geared at me, actually, but it does say, will we use social media more to appreciate our team members? So I am pleased to let our audience know, watching right now or listening, maybe in the future on demand, Jenna and I have an extremely tight partnership in regards to social media, marketing in general, and then our people and culture team. So we do meet regularly, and we are coming up with many ideas, one of them including this episode, and many, many more to come. So our partnership is super tight. We have a lot of things coming out, and we will definitely be showcasing our employees a lot more, and definitely looking into things like recognition, appreciation, and we want to make sure that hashtags Team Sterling is a part of everyone's vocabulary and out and about on social media. But Jenna, did you have anything to add to that?
No, I think that's such a great question, and to me that falls into the what technologies do we have to facilitate appreciation, and social media is absolutely one of them. So thank you, whoever pinged us about that, and we'll definitely make sure that is incorporated in our strategy.
Absolutely. Okay, well, that wraps up our show today. Thank you so much, Jenna, for joining us. And thank you to our audience for being so engaged today, asking questions, leaving really, really nice commentary for the two of us to read to everyone else listening right now and on demand. Just as a reminder, we do go live every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern across Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. But again, Jenna, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a tremendous episode.
Thank you so much, Caitlin. It was my honor.
Of course. Thank you, everyone. We will see you next time.